The night was cold, and the forest seemed sharper, darker, and heavier than usual when the group stepped out of their broken-down van. It had been 3 hours since the accident, 3 hours since they realized the highway map had been wrong, and they had taken a road that didn't exist on any GPS. A wrong turn, one that felt more like a trap than a mistake. Mia kept rubbing her arms as she stared down the empty dirt track. This road wasn't here yesterday. I swear it appeared out of nowhere. Jay shook his head. Roads don't just appear, Mia. We probably missed a sign. But even he didn't sound convinced. The 5 of them, Jay, Mia, Aman, Chloe, and Rafi, started walking deeper into the forest, hoping to find a house or a signal. They didn't know that something was already watching them, moving silently between the trees, matching their steps, waiting for the moment they were truly alone. Rafi stopped first. "Guys, do you hear that?" A slow dragging sound echoed behind them, like metal sliding across gravel. They turned. Nothing. Jay swallowed hard. "Let's keep moving." After 15 minutes of silence, the trees opened into a clearing. In the middle stood an old wooden cabin, half collapsed, its windows shattered, its roof partly eaten by time. A single lantern glowed inside. Something was home. Chloe stepped back. "Nope, I'm not going in there." But thunder cracked above them, and rain began pouring so hard it blurred their vision. With no other choice, they pushed the door open. Inside, the air smelled like rust and damp wood. Animal bones hung from the ceiling. A table in the center was covered with rusty knives, ropes, and something that looked too much like a human rib cage. Armin whispered, "We need to leave now," but before they could turn around, the door slammed shut. The lantern flickered violently, plunging the room into near darkness, and then they heard footsteps circling the cabin outside. Slow, heavy, deliberate, Jay grabbed a stick and held it up like a weapon. "Stay together." The footsteps stopped right beside the window. A pale face with yellow eyes pressed against the glass. Mia screamed as a massive hand punched through the window, grabbing her wrist. Jay and Armin pulled her back, but the unseen creature yanked with monstrous strength, dragging her halfway out before Jay smashed the hand with the wooden stick. The creature hissed and vanished into the rain. Chloe sobbed. "Who was that? What was that?" No one answered. The group pushed open the door and ran into the forest. Branches whipped their faces, mud pulled at their shoes, and the storm made everything feel alive and hunting. Then ahead, light, a second cabin, but this one looked newer, lived in, with smoke rising from the chimney. They raced toward it. The door swung open before they even touched it. A tall, bearded man stood inside with a lantern. "Get in, quickly." They collapsed on the floor, out of breath, shaking with fear. "What's out there?" Jay asked. The man's expression hardened. "Not what? Who?" He pointed to scars across his arms. "They live out here, generations of them, born in the woods, twisted by isolation. They don't like outsiders." Mia whispered, "So what do we do?" The man walked to the window, locking it with iron bars. "You survive the night, that's all you can do." But something was off. The air inside the cabin had the same smell as the first one, rust and rot, and when Rafi looked at the walls, he noticed scratch marks, dozens of them. "Some fresh," Chloe's voice trembled. "Guys, this man, look at his arm. Deep bite marks." Armin stepped back. "Did they attack you?" The man slowly turned toward them. "No," he said with a crooked smile. "I live with them." Before anyone could react, he lunged at Jay with inhuman speed. Chaos exploded inside the cabin. Mia threw a burning log at him, hitting his shoulder and sending him stumbling back. Jay grabbed Chloe and pulled her toward the back door. They burst into the night again, running blindly through trees illuminated only by lightning. Behind them, multiple voices shrieked, animalistic echoing, overlapping. They were surrounded. Armin tripped and fell, his scream echoing through the forest as shadowy shapes dragged him into the darkness. Mia cried out, but Jay forced her forward. "Don't look back." Finally, they burst onto a dirt road. A car's headlights cut through the storm. A woman slammed her brakes and yelled for them to get in. As they sped away, Mia sobbed in relief. But then she froze. The driver was smiling too wide, her teeth filed into points, her hands covered in dried blood. "You kids really shouldn't be in these woods," she said. "We don't like outsiders." Jay reached for the door, but it locked automatically. The last thing they heard was the forest creatures screaming with excitement as the car drove deeper, not out of the forest but straight toward their territory. And the road behind them, the one they came from, vanished again into darkness. The wrong turn was never a mistake. It was a trap,